juvenis. Juvenis is published bi-monthly by Peanuts Communications Limited. For enquiries, event coverage or advert placement, call 0803 360 8271, 0805 787 1199, 0702 811 3638, or 0808 152 4499, or visit www.juvenis.peanuts.net. Juvenis Magazine, inspiring the young at heart.